Over. My name is Mandy Davis, citizen of Morro Bay, and I belong to the Coast Alliance. Thank you very much, staff, for all the hard work that you've done, but there is a crucial issue that you have forgotten here, and that is the Morro Bay National Estuary. Ebb and flow. Close your eyes, feel the wind caress and whisper, see the sounds rich and varied, painting the picture on the canvas of your mind. The moon, its orb gently gives way in a silver blue sky, while to the east, the golden rays illuminate in warm sandy undulations. Here is the interface, the place of ebb and flow, where a rich, verdant land greets and embraces a fluid spectacle, brackish estuarine waters. She is a living, breathing entity, a nursery sustaining myriad wondrous creatures, fleeting in and out, darting among swaying green curtains. With each breath, her body remembers a community nourished. Her lungs fill, a landscape changed. Mirrored water brings squirming life in its singular form. Her lungs empty, the mirror recedes. Waters rush out, returning rich detritus to the vast bosom of her grandmother, heaving and sighing in her rocky bed. The cycles move. She enters the dance, moving and pulsing to the drumming of distant shores, moonlight's hypnotic music, a universal voice, and the breath of life, the ebb and flow. This is a poem of my home, a most extraordinary place, and a place that has not been addressed by your staff, and hopefully will be addressed by the commission. It is an awesome place. It is a nursery. It is a home to both humans and myriad creatures that not only live there full time, but also migrate there and depend on the richness of the habitat and the things that are there to eat. And I would like you to understand that once the testing starts, because of the geology of the area, that estuary at 160 decibels will become an acoustic prison to all of the animals inside of the estuary. In order to escape the sound, they would have to swim closer to the point source. This is not something that will happen. So the harbor seals will have to haul out, stay out of the water, and refrain from feeding. All of the birds that have migrated in will have to do the same. And the people that live on the estuary will have to deal with 160 decibel level sound.
Thanks so much.
Which will displace them for the entire time.
I met a whale, literally face to face. I met a whale. And it changed my life. I want to ask you to protect them, and I want to ask you to protect the Morro Bay Harbor porpoises. I know that 8 of them have already been hurt and died from the seismic testing. Your staff has said that 15 of them, if 15 of them of the population is lost, that it's going to hurt their population. And already 8 of them have died from the seismic testing. So I'm asking you to protect them and to protect the whales and sea otters. Yes, it was in there. It says the bottlenose dolphins killed them, but why would 8 of them be killed all like? That's a large amount. So they must have left the territory because of the slow seismic testing and went into bottlenose territory and got hurt and killed.
Thank you.
I'm asking you to take care of them.
I just was thinking in my mind about the dolphins swimming in their natural habitat, eating and mating and playing and just having a nice time, and then all of a sudden just being blasted. And it really hurt to think about. And I would really like for this to not go through. Thank you.
Kenneth Perry, San Diego, California. I've had 2 minutes ceded to me by William Bruns and also Robert Black, who hasn't told you that yet. I'm here with Greenpeace USA, Greenpeace San Diego, Frontline. We're here in solidarity with everybody else here who stopped this blasting. Greenpeace, you guys might or might not be aware, I mean, Joey let you know earlier, about 50,000 letters written. It was actually 58,695, all right? And we are 3.3 million people globally, over 1 million in the United States, over 360,000 of your fellow Californians. In San Diego County alone, we're over 40,000. And we're here with one voice to tell you, this is insane. All right, folks? How are they going to get all the people out of the water? How? That's impossible. There's not going to be a tourist or a surfer who's not heard about this who's going to have their liver ruptured. How? You know? How are they going to view all the animals from their boats like they're proposing? Impossible. Impossible. How? It's a ridiculous proposal. Not only that, but the law that was passed said that they needed to create three-dimensional images. They're only creating two-dimensional images, and according to the U.S. Geological Survey, 2D images are most likely used for offshore oil and gas deposits. That's not what we're saying is going on here. That's according to the U.S. Geological Survey. That's what that technology is used for. They were required by law to create three-dimensional images. They're not doing so. So we are here in solidarity with the Chumash people and with their relatives in the ocean, who are my relatives too. The Chumash deserve their respect. We're here in solidarity with the fishermen of all of California. I feel for the folks who felt like they had to accept a bribe. They did it out of fear. Fear for their futures. And their voices should not be silenced because of their fear. We are here in solidarity with them. We are here in solidarity with Sea Shepherd and Sierra Club and NRDC and all the other great organizations. And how many people came out here by themselves today? Not with an organization. We got people here. We are here in solidarity with all these people to tell you that the people of California did not set up a system of marine preserves. You guys did this. You know this. So that we could, you know, harm endangered species. I'm sorry that the federal government doesn't want to get involved, but this is clearly a violation of the Marine Mammal Protection Act and the Endangered Species Act. And this should not be allowed to go forward. And for all that there are 40 millions aside, and the Land Commission aside, and the PUC aside, the buck stops with you guys. And you know that. And your staff came out with an excellent, excellent report, which we 100% back and would go farther and say, no blasting in California, now or ever. Thank you very much.
Well, my name is Jim Brown. I was called a little bit earlier. I'm not here on my own. I'm actually here just as a translator. My friend Shush, could you come forward, please? Bring him forward.
Jim, sorry.
Yeah, I was called as one of the first people called, but he had some trouble getting out of the forest, and I had to go help him out. I'm here to translate for my friend Shush. His English that name translates to Hugo. I don't know how that works, but okay, Shush, whatever you have to say. He says he's here today as a representative for the animals. He didn't come here on his own. He's here also particularly for the animals in the ocean because they don't have any legs and they can't breathe on land. He wants to thank you all for being here and this opportunity to talk. The thing is that we all used to be really close together, and now we're far apart. And he wants you to bring. Can you reset that? Because I noticed that's a beep from before.
No, you have a minute.
Okay, thank you. So he said that we all used to be close together.
I mean, that's all you had was a minute.
I don't think so, really. Oh well. Anyways. He says that we're moving towards destruction. We're not getting closer.
Thank you.
He says you're very attractive. He wants to take you to the woods and. I'm sorry. I think it translates to kiss.
Quit while you're ahead. Maybe there's some surfers he wants
Give
to
that
date.
man an extra 10 minutes.
That's right. That's right. We needed a little levity.
Sorry,
Excuse me.
Okay. Well, follow that, Marcia Hanscom.
Not easy to follow that. Honorable Commissioners, Marcia Hanscom with the Coastal Law Enforcement Action Network, CLEAN. And I just want to say, you know, there are no bad guys here. The PG&E people, along with many, many others, thought that nuclear power was a great thing to do at one time. And in fact, when you all approved some new steam generators without any mitigation, we actually sued you and came to agreement with PG&E that they should do some mitigation after all. And one of the things they did was agree to put solar on
the entire Montaña de Oro State Park next door. And that was a wonderful thing. We were really surprised, actually, that they agreed to do that. And that's really where this money, all of this money, should go, is toward getting solar on all of our rooftops in this state, instead of putting more and more energy and more time and more money into a nuclear power plant in an area where we have seismic problems. So let's go the other direction.
You've heard the testimony of everybody here so far. You've read the letters, you've seen the information. What it becomes to me is an issue of the interest of a corporation versus the interest of a people. We are the citizens of California. We're here standing together, urging you to listen to the people. I was at the Fish and Game Commission in Sacramento. I think about 80 people spoke, not a single person in favor of the project, and that seems to be about what's going on here today. I would just like to urge you again, listen to the people. That's why we're here. We're the people affected by this. It's not the corporation, and it's not PG&E. They want to push the funds, the cost of the project onto us, the ratepayers. It just doesn't make sense. Listen to the people. Thank you.
Doug Barnett, Quaker meeting of Los Angeles, treasurer of the state party, the Green State Party. We've decided against nuclear power in California as a Green. I was at the rate hearings, the Blue Book hearings in 95 and 96. Held in grammar school in South Central Los Angeles on a Tuesday rainy evening. There was about a dozen people from the public that watch PG&E as a player, along with the others, diddle this state for $40 billion. That indebtedness allows Wall Street bondholders to decide who gets educated in this state, where our money goes, et cetera, et cetera. When Wilson signed the transfer of ratepayers' money over to pay off the bondholders on the nuclear power industry, that's what brought this up. Stop that money, and PG&E will never do this.
They did it off the coast of Peru, and hundreds of dolphins showed up on the shorelines dead. And I don't want to see that happen to our coast. It would be disgusting and a huge loss. They don't really have any reason to be doing this on our coastlines. And it is whale migration season. We need our whales. They eat the krill, who eats the algae, who gives us oxygen, as we all know this. It's a huge circle. This isn't just about a few dolphins washing up on shore. It's a whole ecosystem you're destroying. And it's for no gain, really. And I just, for one, think it's disgusting and morally wrong.
And I, too, oppose the seismic testing. I think it's completely and utterly ridiculous. Once again, I reiterate, our oceans are in trouble. NASA scientists are giving us 30 years before the oceans become so acidic, they won't be able to sustain any more sea life. Our oceans don't need any more destruction. Please, we all plead you in this room, don't allow this to happen. This is in your hands. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being so patient as well.
Thank you.
Hello, brothers and sisters. My name is Nick, and we're all pretty much here in opposition to superfluous testing that's been proven to be fatal in Peru, Washington, the Carolinas, to name a few. I'm out there every day, all day, on the streets, talking to people about global issues. And people are honestly shocked about this. If we were in San Luis Obispo, there would be no elbow room in here. The crowds would throng the sidewalks from this door to the streets. Everybody cares about it that much. There are several nonprofits here representing thousands and millions of people who care about these issues. So yes, we're all speaking for them in one voice. And I believe Mr. Krause said that it was a cacophony of voices that forced their hand to do this testing. Well, I guarantee that the cacophony of voices of outraged citizens will be far more louder than that. And I guarantee that the cacophony of coughing, dying whales and dolphins on our beaches will be far more heard. Thank you.
I'm Paul Hobie from Ocean Conservancy. And I have a stack of letters that folks signed while they were just outside signing up.
Hello, I'm Aaron Kirby. I'm 12 years old, and I speak for the young people of San Luis Obispo. We look up to you and have to expect that you will make good decisions with integrity in mind. Do you teach your children to kill the songbirds in your neighborhood, or do you teach them that's wrong? In making a decision to go forward with this testing, you're telling your children that it's fine to kill, and not just to kill a single songbird, but to slaughter whole families or pods of dolphins, to slaughter schools of fish, and kill many, many other animals down to the very plankton that feeds so much other sea life. I can't even conceive of your thinking this is right. The choices that you make now define integrity for our children. The consequences of this testing will not stop with dead animals washing ashore, but will stretch far into the future. This will affect the morals of our upcoming generation. Just last week, I was in South Dakota making a documentary on the endangered Lakota culture. And as I learned the local history of this group of Americans, I kept wishing that I could take back what my ancestors did. We can't undo history, but we can make decisions now so that we can tell our grandchildren with integrity that they should not be ashamed but proud of what we did. Thank you.
My name's Benjamin Terra. I'm from Morro Bay. I grew up there my whole life. I am a 17-year commercial fisherman. I started commercial fishing when I was 14. Been a surfer and a diver. I'm a member of C.O.A.S.T. And fishermen do not want this testing at all. A few fishermen signed that MOU out of fear, but they were mistaken because they thought that there was a chance that you guys might grant this permit, but I'm pretty sure that you're not going to, because the Coastal Act has numerous reasons that would pose you not to. The Coastal Act aims to protect water-oriented recreational activities, and this seismic testing would make those activities potentially lethal to humans. The testing also has the potential to severely damage the base of the food chain, being plankton, larvae, and bait fish. Those inhabit the upper water column where the sunlight shines. If we have a collapse of the base of the food chain, we have a collapse of the entire ecosystem. And that would violate the Coastal Act, which requires that at least maintaining and enhancing marine resources. Fishermen deserve that the Commission upholds the Coastal Act and recognizes and protects the economic, commercial, and recreational importance of fishing activities. So the Commission has to deny this permit. This decision that you make today will set precedent for seismic testing worldwide from now on. This permit must be denied completely. No conditions or mitigation are acceptable whatsoever for the damage that can take place. There are no possible mitigation measures that can make this right if this testing were to take place. And it would not justify the damage done to our marine environment, our community, our economy, and the livelihoods of fishermen. This is the most significant decision that you will ever make as commissioners.
Jeff Walters, I am also Captain Starwise. Yes, as a penchant for maritime history, I also would like it that my maritime does not become history. Along with that, I was told to make a few points quickly. Sound travels at 4.3 times faster in water than it does in air, so in all the testing that we're talking about things that will actually be impacting in the marine environment much larger at higher rates than they will actually in the air and at the levels that were originally tested for. Gunshots happen at 145 decibels. Krakatoa was tracked at 180 decibels. The 1 megaton bomb at Hiroshima was tracked at 210 decibels. We have not reached the level of the test. I suggest that PG&E, class action lawsuit against PG&E for malicious misconduct against ratepayers and the people of California for unsafe practices.
Thank you so
and
much.
Data in reference to environmental degradation and historic loss of human life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
5 minutes of rebuttal.
Give him 15 minutes.
Madam Chair, again, Mark Krause with Pacific Gas and Electric. I will try to do that in a minute. Let's see. First, PG&E, the State Lands Commission, and the National Science Foundation disagree with most of the speakers with regard to the environmental impacts. We are not saying there is no impact from this project. There will be impacts. We believe we've mitigated them to the degree feasible. We believe we've met the criteria for override. The two bases for that are that we believe Supervisor Gibson's 10 streamer array used in the oil industry for oil exploration is not appropriate for this task, and then that we have minimized the size of this box as much as possible. You can analyze the data any other way you'd like. These targets still need to be hit. And I would, then the other two criteria under the override are that mitigated to the fullest extent feasible, again, between state lands, the federal agencies, and what your staff recommends that we would agree with. We believe that proves that prong. And then finally, on the public welfare, the project would serve grid reliability and seismic safety. And I really want to focus on that. I don't think this hearing looks any different a year from now, regardless of what you send us back to do. So I would urge you not to send us back to do anything, because the opposition remains. And so I want to simply pose the question, does reducing uncertainty, I'm not saying, we're not raising the specter that Diablo Canyon is unsafe, reducing the uncertainty of the seismic hazard at Diablo Canyon, does that outweigh the environmental harm that we've talked about here? That's what I pose to you, and thank you.
Thank you.